Okay. Hi, Jeff. My name is Kelly. I'm a nurse practitioner student, and I'd like to talk to you today about where you are in regards to smoking or quitting smoking. Is that okay with you?
That's fine.
All right. So I'm just curious. When did you start smoking? How old were you?
I probably started smoking when I was about 22 or right around 22. I started chewing when I was about 14. And then I learned about throat cancer and stomach cancer and esophagus cancer. And I thought, well, I'd rather not subject myself to all those things, rather just quit. And then I started smoking, thinking it's only going to affect your lungs. Not that that's any better or worse.
Okay. Well, was there influences? Did your friends smoke, or did your mom and dad smoke?
No, my mom and dad don't smoke. None of my brothers or sisters smoked. The influence probably came from school, and I started chewing because my friends were chewing, and so I started chewing at about the age of 13 or 14.
Okay, so just so I'm clear on this, you started using tobacco at a very young age, mostly because your friends were doing it. So it was kind of the social thing to do. And now, 30 years later, you are still smoking, correct?
And addicted to it, yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me about a typical day having to do with smoking, when you smoke, where you smoke, that sort of thing?
I get up in the morning, I eat breakfast. I may or may not have a cigarette here at home. I get in my vehicle, I drive to work. I'll have 2 or 3 on the way to work. I'll start my work day about 7 o'clock in the morning or 6:30 or 7 in the morning. I'll start work. And I will routinely work for about an hour. And I'll go outside and have a smoke alone about 7:30 in the morning, so nobody's around. And it's a time where I'm away from my computer, I'm away from my desk. The average person would probably not take a break or do anything at that point. They would work straight through. I like to go out and collect my thoughts. I'm a supply chain manager, so for me to get away from the routine of the day is important. The cigarette is probably more of an excuse to get away and stand around and have a smoke and think about the day from a higher level, and then I go back in and I go to work. I will work until about 10, and then I work with 2 gals. They both work for me, and I'll say I'm going out for a smoke. Somewhere's around 10 o'clock in the morning. I will go outside and we will exit our jobs, and we will go out there and we will talk about the day or we will talk about things from a higher level, but we will typically talk about work. From time to time, we'll take a break from that and talk about private stuff, just a relationship build, but for the most part. And then we'll repeat that process about 2:30 in the afternoon. I'll go out for lunch at noon. I'll eat. I'll have a smoke on the way back to work, and I'll go right back to work. And then on the way home, I'll have a couple more smokes on the way home. And then depending on whether or not we have drinks in the evening, will dictate whether or not I smoke more. Otherwise, I'll come home, and depending on how tired I am, I might just sit on the couch and watch TV and not smoke again till the next morning. Or, if we're having drinks, I'll smoke like 3 times the number.
Okay. So, on a daily routine, you are taking several breaks to smoke, but it's not just to smoke, it's kind of a stress reliever or a break from work. And depending on if you're drinking or not, and that kind of dictates how much you smoke as well.
At work, I take breaks and I'll smoke primarily it's something to do to get away from work for a little bit and contemplate the day. Huh?
An excuse, kind of, to get away from work.
Actually, I want to go out and smoke.
Okay.
I enjoy going out and
Okay.
smoking, and then I go back in and go to work. When I drink, I actually enjoy smoking when I'm drinking.
Okay.
I can't tell you why. I have no clue why, but I enjoy smoking I think it's probably because it's something to do while I'm drinking.
And I don't think you're any different than anyone else. I think that's a very common thing we hear is people enjoy it. That's why they don't want to give it up. Thank you for being so honest. That's very interesting to hear. Now, kind of to change the mood a little bit. If you were to give me a list of good things about smoking, you mentioned a few here. You enjoy it. It provides a break. Is there any other, the social aspect? You know, if you're smoking and drinking, it's kind of the thing to do. Is there any other good things about smoking that?
I don't think there are any good things about it. I think it's just something that I do because I've done it for so long.
Okay.
And I think that I'm addicted to it.
Okay. How about, is there any good things that you would think about if you quit smoking? What would the benefits be if you quit smoking?
I don't know if there are a lot of good things about quitting smoking, with the exception of your voice clears up and your voice isn't so raspy when you speak. So rather than talk about the good things that would happen if you stop smoking, or, you know, the benefits of it, I can talk a little bit more about the negative things that happen if you smoke. I mean, that's the direction that I would go more than the good things that would happen. I can think of nothing good that would come of not smoking, but I can think of a lot of bad things. So I can tell you that I already know that smoking causes you to, you know, you have a lack of oxygen when you're smoking to your brain of about 60%. I already know that. Okay?
Okay.
So it cuts down the oxygen moving to your brain by 60%. I can tell you that it does take some time to do that. I can tell you that you smell bad when you do that. I can tell you that when you drink and smoke, I can tell you that your breath is very bad. I can tell you that when I smoke throughout the day, I eat a lot of gum because I'm very self-conscious of my breath.
Okay.
I can think of I can tell you that you get all kinds of cancer from it, all the way from lip cancer to lung cancer and anything in between. I can tell you that if it goes into your body is a bad thing, like nicotine in the tar, it's got to come out. So when it comes out of you, it's coming out through your bladder. It's coming out through everything that leads through your body and comes out of your body. So I can tell you that you're recepting, you know, you're susceptible to get cancer in any of the places that is expelled from the second it goes in till the second it goes out.
Okay. I can tell that you know a lot about the risk of smoking, and that's awesome. So my question to you is, what's holding you back from quitting? If you know all the bad things about, you know, what happens when you continue to smoke, what's the roadblock in quitting?
Addiction.
Okay. Have you tried quitting before?
I have.
And were you successful?
I was successful for short bursts of time.
Okay.
But nothing anything longer than probably a month.
Okay. Did you use anything, nicotine replacement, like patches or nicotine gum or anything to help you during that time when you were trying to quit?
I didn't know.
Okay.
I will say that what triggered those stops in smoking was maybe I got the flu. And I was forced to quit because of the flu. And it's because it tastes terrible, it's not good, it's all bad, and you just quit. And then you go, okay, if I made it for one day, I can make it for another day. And you do that for a while. But then if you go out and let's say you have a few drinks, it triggers and sparks that desire to start smoking again.
Okay. On a scale of 0 to 10, and you can be honest, as you have been through this whole thing, 1 to 10, 1 is not ready at all, and 10 being ready to quit smoking, what would you rate yourself on that scale?
Well, I'd probably rate myself at a 5 or 6 on that, with 10 being the I really desire to quit smoking.
Right,
I would probably rate myself on a 5 or 6 on that.
okay. How come you didn't rate it at a 2 or 3?
Because I know how unhealthy it is.
Okay. So what I'm hearing from you is that you know it's unhealthy. You've tried to quit in the past. Have never used anything to help you quit as far as nicotine replacement or anything else, counseling or anything like that. So would you be willing to set up another appointment where you and I could talk and maybe discuss a plan? Ultimately, this is your decision. I can't tell you that you have to quit smoking. But just in the conversation, I'm surprised that you rated your willingness to quit 5 to 6. So that tells me that, you know, you're more ready than not to stop smoking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing. So I was curious if, you know, if in 2 weeks we could set up another appointment. Maybe during that 2 weeks you could make a list of the pros and cons of smoking or not smoking, however you want to do it. And we can go over that list at that time. Is that acceptable to you?
Well, it's acceptable that we set up another appointment to talk about it in 2 or 3 weeks. I probably would not take I would probably not be that motivated to make a list, because that list is already there.
You've already said it.
I mean, I'm not, there's no point in me adding to my day. I mean, I started work at 6:30 this morning. I got home at 6:30 tonight, so
I know.
I'm probably not gonna add to it. But I'd be interested in hearing about more of it.
Okay. I thank you for your time and appreciate this.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.